Hey, 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 and welcome to Terry Messenger's Genius Zone. And, this is the place in the space where you are going to get your own free masterclass absolutely free. Hey, 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 Sue. How are you, Dr. Sue Williams?
I'm wonderful, Terry. Thank you for inviting me along today. It's very exciting to speak with you.
Well, I can't wait. I'm here in Bali right now. Whereabouts are you in the world?
In Victoria, in Australia. Yes,
Okay,
very
the
hot
place I was
day.
born.
Very hot day here today. Very unlike Victoria.
Wow. Well, we've just swapped because it is pouring with rain right now, but we have about 4 seasons in one day here in Bali, and it's been humid and, really balmy all day, but it's just been wonderful. And I just feel like I'm on my own retreat, an eat, pray, love session.
Yes.
So it's just, now, I just want you to make sure that you can hear me okay and see me okay. Good
Yes, I
on
can.
your end?
Yes.
Beautiful. Just because I am in another country and so Wi-Fi and internet, I'm just speaking to those guides and asking them to make sure that all is taken care of. So,
Yes.
Sue, you have multiple facets of what I would classify the most powerful biohacking modalities through hypnosis, quantum healing, quantum counseling, and even Akashic records. That is absolutely phenomenal. And yet your beginnings is really in, that wasn't always your beginnings. You spent a lot of years doing something else. So tell us about that before we really jump into the meaty bits of what you're going to bring to the audience.
Oh, you're absolutely right saying that, because for the majority of my life, I had no idea what I wanted to do when I grew up. From childhood through to my 50s, I still had no idea what my purpose was in this particular life. And it wasn't until, because I worked for the education department for 26 years, and it wasn't until we had some professional development and a mindfulness practitioner came, just with the teachers and the office staff, so that we could learn how to calmly conduct ourselves and not allow the stress of working in a school to get to us. And all of a sudden, after that session, something just clicked, and I thought, yeah, this is what I'm meant to do. It was just amazing, because I know it had been in the news. People had talked about mindfulness and that sort of thing. I hadn't taken that much notice of it. But when I was actually doing the exercises and thinking about all the things that this practitioner had got us to do, it was, that was that light bulb moment that you often have when something really special
Yes.
occurs.
Yes.
And from there, I went on
Absolutely.
and did
I absolutely 100% agree. Yeah, and you've just studied for years and years. It's like you've studied a whole lifetime in the last how many years?
I've crammed in a lot in the past 13 years from that time I found out about mindfulness, because I did train as a mindfulness practitioner myself. But of course, that led to so many other different things, NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. And then from that, it led to the hypnotherapy. And I trained in a fairly mainstream type of hypnosis, became a clinical hypnotherapist, so helping people with anxiety, depression, getting over bad habits, addictive behaviours, all those sort of mainstream problems that so many people have. But then I felt the calling wanting to help athletes, particularly in the equestrian area, being a competitive horse rider myself. And I saw how wonderful it would be to help all these athletes, firstly, to overcome their anxieties and fears, and then to allow them to visualize the ultimate success that they could have in their chosen sport, and be able to help them achieve all the goals that they had set for themselves, but for whatever reason hadn't been able to. Even just the physical coaching hadn't got them to that place, but it was the mental part that really made the difference.
So you literally get people back on the horse again.
In your question, my word, I certainly do.
Yes, yes.
I get them back on the horse.
That is just incredible. And look, it's, clinical hypnosis is so profound. It's so powerful. And, I know where I am in Perth, Western Australia. When I did my clinical hypnotherapy, it was around 2011, 2012. And, Perth hadn't really broken out at that time. If you thought about hypnotherapists, you were kind of thinking about old gypsy ladies that kind of wore long floral dresses and had grey hair and big glasses that lived up in the mountains and the hills. That was the kind of image that you would actually get. And so, where I did my study in Sydney, and, it's absolutely profound. But nowadays, if you tell people, this is what I do, people generally know that you can make change to their life. So what I would really love to ask you is, we know that you've really worked passionately with people that, are competitive. You help them to get peak performance. You help people literally get back on the horse. And, I believe that is absolutely brilliant. And, when you are actually working with hypnosis, do you take your people down into like a deep, almost like trance, or, what is your format? Because I did Milton Erickson, so you could actually do it in a deep trance. Yes. Or you could do it just via bypassing that consciousness and going directly to the subconscious. Can I ask, what is the format that you practice to really, make that hypnosis powerful?
Well, my normal way of dealing with my clients is, if they come to me with fears, anxieties, anything like that, which will have a root cause, then yes, we do the deep trance. We get right down to the root cause. And incredibly, even though we're talking about athletes, the root cause will 99 times out of 100 go back to something that happened or was said to them when they were a young child. And that's just been in their subconscious for the rest of their life. So every time some situation occurs, whether they're in the competitive area, whether they're trying to do the best for their coach, whether they're trying to go up through the levels, this little thing in the back of the mind, which has been there for most of their life, is saying, no, you can't progress anymore because you were told you're no good. You fell off your horse and then your parents sold the horse because you obviously couldn't ride. Other athletes, a coach has said, oh, you'll never make the grade, don't even bother coming back for training. Something that's happened when they've been usually younger than 14. And that stuck with them. And as an adult, every time they try to go up through the levels, try to excel, try to be that athlete that everyone wants to be, the one that's on the podium with the gold medal, that little thing in the back of the mind saying, you'll never make it, don't even bother. And they'll get to a certain level, and then that will be it. So you definitely use that deep trance work.
So they sort of like, in other words, they get to a level and they kind of can't go past that because that's where they've capped themselves. So in other words, then it's our role to lift the lid off and actually allow them to rise up to that next level. Is that correct?
That's right, because the subconscious mind is such an amazing thing. If you can find out the reason that they're stopping themselves, then you can change what the subconscious believes. The subconscious is very literal. It will believe whatever you tell it. So it's believed whatever you were told as a child, that you're no good, you'll never get anywhere, don't bother coming to training because you're no good. So you go into you get rid of that, which of course, when you take something out, leaves a vacuum. So you're able to fill it with the positivity of, oh, yes, you are that athlete who's going to be on the podium, gold medal, everyone clapping. And then, of course, you can install all sorts of triggers which will assist that person to get to that level. And with the horse riding...
Sorry, when you say triggers, Sue, do you mean good triggers like anchoring?
Yeah, always positive. Always positive.
Got it. Yeah, it's just that because, a lot of people think triggers is about where they get triggered, and it's like an anger. So I just wanted to clarify that. Got it.
Oh, there are triggers and triggers. So if you can install things like using your NLP, which is the neuro-linguistic programming, there's one trick I do with my horse riders who get nervous as soon as they get on their horse. And I get them to imagine a spot between the horse's ears and focus on that spot, and then go through a whole process of getting them to relax just enough, but they're still in control, and give them all a list of instructions how they can be their best rider. And then that's locked in. Every time they get on the horse and look at that spot between the horse's ears, the subconscious says, oh, I know this. I know this routine that's been embedded in me, and I'm going to go through that list, and you're going to be sitting there and you're going to have the best ride of your life because I know exactly what to do. So that's the positive trigger. Brilliant. And they're definitely triggers. Yeah, and you just need that anchor.
I get it. I totally get it. Yeah. So, just for people, because I know a lot of people do train in NLP and, especially because I train a lot of people in NLP and hypnosis. And so if you happen to be listening to this as what Dr. Sue is talking about, so instead of you being triggered off by something that is beyond your control and just happens, you actually set up this, what they call in NLP, an anchor. And so by looking, like Dr. Sue suggested to her clients, to look between at a certain spot. And so what that does is that triggers the subconscious memory to go, oh yes, it's that moment. That's the moment where as soon as I look at that spot, I become empowered. I become, the gold medal winner. I become super confident. So that's incredible. I love that. And can I ask, so when you are taking people, because obviously, even though your niche is, in peak performance, all sports, all athletes and all things, I guess that, So one of the things that I'd like to ask is, we know that obviously for everyone, whether it is that you want to win in sports or you want to win in the field you're in and be the icon in the field you're in, this is going to be extremely, very powerful for you guys, because you're going to learn some very great techniques, and Dr. Sue's going to help you through them. So what do you think it is that's so powerful about the quantum? Let's talk about the quantum elements of what you do, where, I know there's a lot of detox, but I'd rather than go through the detoxification side of it, I would like to talk about the quantum visioning and, why that is so powerful for people to really step into their higher selves so quickly, hence being called quantum.
Yeah. The quantum counselling definitely focuses on the physical body, although there is a lot of mental attunement and that sort of thing involved in it. But that's the purpose of it is to improve your life in your physical body. But if we're talking about the quantum journeys hypnosis, then that's quite different, and that is a different type of hypnosis. I call my sports hypnosis my mainstream hypnosis, which is what people generally are familiar with. But the quantum journeys, dare I say it, is a little bit more woo-woo. But if you are open-minded and willing just to let things happen in a session, it's so incredible, the things that you can do. And you mentioned a quantum jump, a quantum leap before, and that's one of the things you can do while you're in a quantum journeys hypnosis session. But you can also visit past lives, future lives, parallel lives. We specifically go to the Temple of Healing, because then that's when your body and mind will let you know what you should and shouldn't be eating, what activities you're doing that are negatively impacting your life. You meet your inner healer, which I believe we can have a chat about later in a little while.
Yeah, stick around, guys. It's going to get really juicy.
And if and when the multiverse thinks you're ready, yes, you can visit the Akashic records. And that seems to be something that takes several sessions before you're allowed to see it. Because when I started having sessions, I would pass a building on my left-hand side, which had a door with a chain and a lock on it. And that eventually turned out to be the Akashic records. But I wasn't allowed to go there until the multiverse. I call it multiverse because there's more than one universe.
Multiverse. Okay,
yeah.
That's an exciting word. I haven't heard that before. What is a multiverse?
Well, there's more than one universe. So there are parallel universes, so I call it multiverse. But I wasn't allowed to visit there. I could see it when I walked past it, but I wasn't allowed to actually go and try to open the door until the source decided that I was ready to visit the Akashic records and find out the information that was in there. So that's another thing that you can definitely do with the quantum journeys hypnosis. It's just the most amazing thing.
That is incredible. Now, I've got a couple of questions for you around this. So what do you think it is the multiverse is actually holding back by, waiting for that person to, where do they have to be, or what is it that is required? Like, like going through an Air Force or a army training or, police academy or whatever it is. But what is it actually in this, like becoming a sergeant, colonel or whatever? Is it like that, or why does the wait?
I think it's more that this type of hypnosis, some of the things you find out can be quite startling. And you can visit previous lives and you find out how you died. And that can be quite confronting. And it's really, you have to work through a number of layers in this particular modality before you're deemed ready to view whatever is in the Akashic records, because everything that you've ever done is in there.
It's like a protection then, like the subconscious almost saying you're ready or you're not ready.
That's right.
And, is there really, obviously I totally respect because a lot of my peers are all about the past lives, and I totally understand that. I tend to work in the ancestral lineage. So in actual fact, it is kind of like the past lives, because we are the blueprint. We're still holding the blueprint of our great grandparents. So it's sort of, and we carry it down the line, hence why, you know, I can remember my husband saying that something about a whip and a chain, and something to do with he felt that it came from his great grandfather, and something had happened back in the olden days that had left a mark on his life, because he got strapped. He got strapped by his dad, and it was a strap, it was a whip, but he said that it felt like there was more than just that experience, but he felt like it was something in his history from a, you know, past great grandparents. So it's interesting, isn't it, how we carry these kind of energies, these almost like karmic patterns.
Definitely. And I think that's why you are a bit restricted in accessing the Akashic records, because that's got everything. So you need to experience some of these less traumatic, can we say, things, going back to lives where it allows you to join the dots in this particular incarnation. You think, oh yeah, like the whip and the strap. And I think you do have to experience that to be able to ready yourself to just find out everything. And I mean, the Akashic records will only let you see what it deems you're ready to see. But at the same time, if you keep delving into it, everything is in there. So
have you ever read the book Think and Grow Rich?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Well, it came originally from the 16 Laws of Success. Like 16 Laws of Success and Think and Grow Rich were all Napoleon Hill's manuscripts. But there was actually 17 of them. And when he passed away, that 17th law was kind of kept locked away in a vault. And it was a very important, module that he spoke about. But it was where he had a conversation with the devil. And, you know, he obviously knew that people weren't probably going to be quite ready for that. And it was about the drifters. I don't know whether you've actually heard of the drifters, but the drifter is where the person that's got no purpose and they're kind of just floating along in life, and they're not anchored, they're not grounded, they don't have all the laws that he speaks of, being, you know, the desire and the, you know, the chief aim purpose and the passion and, you know, all of the elements. I won't go on about them, but it's interesting that when something is almost very, like you say, woo-woo, veering on a little woo-woo, it's kind of almost, people get into a little bit of fear about it. So it's kind of hidden. But they did reveal that. So very, very, very interesting chapter. And I guess if we were going to talk about it on a more kind of an optimistic note of what you would be doing with, say, a person when you're quantum jumping them into their peak performance, it's like them getting to know their other self, isn't it? It's like that.
Yeah.
Leaving behind the old self and kind of like, boom.
That's the purpose of starting off by meeting your inner healer, because that's the guide who's going to point you in the right direction to find out what you need as you work through all these layers of things that you have to work through. So you go to the Temple of Healing, you go through, your guide will take you there, your inner healer, and you'll go through all the things you should be eating, what you shouldn't be eating, the practices within your life that you should be probably doing more of, and the things you should let go of completely. And sometimes you can find out about people in your life that your inner healer says, maybe just start to distance yourself a bit from those people because they're a negative influence on you. So it's your subconscious is just
very
amazing.
powerful.
It just knows these things, but your intellectual mind, the frontal lobe, keeps overriding that sort of thing. I'll keep that friend. I'll keep that friend close because she's always been nice to me, and the subconscious is saying, you don't know what she's really like. But you think, oh yeah, she's really good. Yeah. So when you go into that sort of thing, it lets you know. Very powerful. Yes.
That is powerful.
So
I'm so excited. So this is the part that I know that all of our guests will be waiting for. And so if it does get too loud here, because it is absolutely, I can't believe it. It's so beautiful. It's warm, it's balmy, but it's pouring with rain right here in Bali. And I love it. But if it is too loud, you just let me know, give me a cue. And you know what? We're going to showcase. And what I really want to do before I hand over to Sue is I want to ask the universe, God, just the higher element of the universe, what is going to be the best thing for our audience? Like knowing that people are going to be listening. Now the thunder's coming, so it's obviously going to be very powerful. So, in saying that, I guess I'm going to be the conduit for the audience, and I have no idea what's about to happen, but is there any preparation that the audience needs? Like, do they need to be in a safe space? Do they need to be so they're not driving or operating machinery? Is there any disclaimer?
Oh, definitely, because what we'll be doing is actual hypnosis. So you should never listen to any recording when you're driving, especially, or any time at all when you should have your full consciousness and be fully in the moment, because it can get quite dangerous if you're slipping in and out of consciousness, obviously.
Absolutely. So that's why I wanted to ask. So thank you so much for that. So you heard, Dr. Sue, if you are driving, just pause it. You can come back to this later.
Right. Yep.
And just make sure that you are safe to be in a place to tune into what's going to be coming through me. I have no idea. I'm open to this, and I'm asking God to bless and bless myself and the audience and Sue. So over to you, Dr. Sue.
Okay. Well, we're going to have a bit of an introduction to the Quantum Journeys hypnosis. It will take maybe 15 minutes, and Terri is going to be the subject. So she will no doubt learn a bit about herself as well during this fairly short session. This is just a sampler, really, just dipping the toe in. And
yeah,
it is. And the first part of it is what we would do with every session, but a little bit later we'll just do a very short part of what we were going to maybe take an hour to an hour and a half in a normal session to go through, or maybe even more depending on what we're doing. So
well, again, I'm ready.
Yep, that's good. So as with all hypnosis, you need to be in a comfortable position. because you will have your eyes closed. Definitely preferable with hypnosis to have the eyes closed, although it is possible.
I might actually, do I have to speak, Dr. Sue?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
So I will be asking you.
I'll speak into the microphone and do my best so that the rain doesn't overshadow my voice.
Okay. So you don't need to close your eyes yet, because we'll go through a bit of a process during what we call the induction, which is taking. Okay, so Terry's going to be the subject today. So this is Quantum Journeys Hypnosis, and it's just dipping the toe in to just show you firstly how I take my clients into the trance that we need. So Terri will have her eyes open for the moment, and then she'll go through a series of opening and closing her eyes, which is a very good way of going into trance. So you can actually teach yourself to do this if you're having trouble sleeping, perhaps. So this part you'll be able to use later when you're in bed, not when you're driving. So, but with all hypnosis, you need to be in a comfortable position, a safe position where you won't be interrupted. You shouldn't have your phone on, of course, and let the rest of the family know that you're going to be in hypnosis, so not to bother you for however long the practitioner tells you. So obviously my name's Dr. Sue, and as the hypnotherapist, I'll be taking Terri on an incredible quantum journey in this session. And this is an introduction to the hallway of answers. And this is our stepping off point for all sessions using the quantum journeys. So what is revealed to Terri and all of you now will be a solid foundation for any future journeys into the quantum realm. So remember that your conscious, analytical mind is only in charge of making decisions, choices, obligations, and responsibilities. And that there's no need for any of that here in hypnosis. So that part of your brain and your mind, it can just take a break, leaving the rest of the conscious mind to fulfill this journey. So if Terri is comfortable where she's sitting, I would normally get my client to recline, perhaps lean back on the bed with pillows or in a reclining chair, just because if your head goes a bit wonky, you want it to be supported. So it's best not to lie down flat or to sit upright, but just to lean back so that you're comfortable and settled nicely. And again, just to reinforce, never listen to this recording or any hypnotic recording while driving or operating machinery. So just have yourself, Terri, in a calm, quiet spot where you won't be disturbed. And of course, if you need to change position at all before we start, and of course, Terri now should make herself comfortable, and if she needs to change
Mother Nature's really, really talking to us.
Yes, she wants to make herself heard.
She wants to make herself heard.
Okay, Mother Nature, it's my turn.
Yes. So she's releasing. That's what it's all about, you know.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Okay. All right, Terri. So just bring your awareness to your breath. So you're breathing in brand new, clean, fresh energy and exhaling out all the old, used up energy. In with peace and relaxation, and out with any tension or stress. And as you're focusing on your breath, bring your attention to that tiny space between your inhale and your exhale. Not something we often think about. And now, concentrate on that. Concentrate your attention on that tiny space between your exhale and your inhale. So just again, the tiny space between your inhale and your exhale, and then the tiny space between your exhale and your inhale. And as you're becoming aware of this tiny space, go ahead and bring your attention to the space that you occupy, Terri, the space where you end and the world begins, and where the world ends and you begin. Oh,
Mother
thank you.
Nature is really, she's activating her voice.
She
So
certainly
I
is.
feel that the first sign here is anybody listening to this. This is nature. This is what's happening. And this is what we call, I believe, a symbol of being heard, activating
Yes.
your voice. And that does not surprise me because I work so much with other coaches, healers, and leaders. So just, I'm going to set the intention that every time it roars with thunder, it's a reminder that to activate that voice and to speak the truth.
Absolutely. Oh, very good. So, Terri, not yet, but in a moment, I'm going to ask you to take a huge, deep breath while rolling your eyes up as high as you can, as though you could see the inside at the top of your own head. So imagine that there's a skylight up there, and the sun's beautiful white golden light is streaming right down through the crown of your head and into your body, all the way down through your body to the very tips of your fingers and toes. And then you will hold that breath for as long as you can. And when you can't comfortably hold it any longer, go ahead and exhale and close your eyes right down. So, opening your eyes again, and before we do it for real, let's just practice. So, roll your eyes up with your eyes open while you take that huge deep breath, rolling your eyes as high as you can, almost as though you could see the inside top of your own head. And while your eyes are open and rolled up, imagine that there's a skylight up there and the sun's beautiful white golden light is streaming right down through the crown of your head and into your body, all the way down through your body to the tips of your fingers and toes. Then you'll hold that breath for as long as you can. And when you can't comfortably hold it any longer, go ahead and exhale and close your eyes right down. Wonderful. You did that perfectly, Terri. So, are you ready to do it for real? Because it's just been a practice up until now. So, let's begin. Eyes open. Deep breath in, rolling your eyes up, all the way up, imagining that warm white gold light streaming right into your brain. Hold it there, hold that breath. And then when you can't hold it any longer, let it all go and close your eyes, just like a balloon deflating and relaxing down with your eyes closed. Perfect. So just like that, and now just relax your eyes and let them go ahead and follow that golden light as it moves down through your entire body, from the top of your head to the tips of your fingers and toes. And when it reaches your heart, imagine it entering into the chambers of your heart and becoming part of your vascular system, pumping white golden light throughout your body to every muscle, every tissue, every cell, right on down to the DNA level and beyond. That's right. Right on down to the tips of your fingers and toes and on out as it continues streaming in through your head and out through your fingers and toes, because it doesn't begin or end with you, Terri. You are just a conduit for this beautiful healing light and energy. Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes and find a spot above you. So keep them closed for the moment. And as I count backwards from 10, you'll open your eyes and then close them in between each number as I count down to 1. So I will say 10, and you will open your eyes. Then say to yourself, just within yourself, deeper, relaxed. You'll just be commanding yourself without speaking out loud to become deeper, relaxed. And at the same time, close your eyes. Then I'll say 9. You'll open them again and say deeper, relaxed as you close them again, and so on. So do you understand what you have to do, Terri? Okay. So we'll just do a quick test just from the count of 3 to make sure you've got it. Okay. So open your eyes, say to yourself, deeper, relaxed, and close your eyes. Now on 2, open your eyes, say to yourself, deeper, relaxed, and close them again. And on the count of 1, open your eyes, deeper, relaxed, and close. Good job, well done. And of course, if at any point you find that it's just too much trouble to keep opening your eyes again, that's okay. You just let them remain closed and we'll go ahead and move on. And that's what we're attempting to do, to get you so relaxed that your eyes simply cannot open. And also, at some point before we reach the number 1, I want you to just imagine that you're drifting off to a happy, safe place. This could be a place you've visited before, one you would like to visit, or maybe a place that exists only in your imagination, or maybe somewhere you'd love to go at some point in your life. Whatever this place is, whether it's real or imaginary, there are no problems and no worries there. It's your own private paradise, a beautiful, restful, peaceful place. And every time I say the phrase, happy, safe place, you'll find yourself going deeper and further and further and deeper. And even though you'll be incredibly relaxed and thoroughly enjoying this experience, you'll find that you'll be able to respond to me talking, and you'll be able to follow what I say easily from this lovely state of deep trance. Okay, are you ready? Just nod your head if you are. Okay, let's begin. Eyes open and look at that spot above you as high as you can possibly look, and focus on something, doesn't really matter what. And on the count of 10, deeper, relaxed, close your eyes. 9, open your eyes, saying to yourself, deeper, relaxed, and close your eyes. On the count of 8, saying deeper, relaxed, with your eyes open, closing them again, deeper, relaxed. On the count of 7, open your eyes, deeper, relaxed. Close them again. And of course, if they're getting just too heavy to open, that's wonderful. And you can just allow them to stay closed and be deeper relaxed. So on the count of 6, deeper relaxed, going so deep. On the count of 5, deeper relaxed, drifting, floating, sinking deeper and deeper. On the count of 4, deeper relaxed, so relaxed. On the count of 3, deeper relaxed. On the count of 2, even deeper relaxed. And on the count of 1, you are deeper relaxed, and you can see, feel, or sense that in front of you is a doorway that will lead you straight to your happy, safe place. So Terri, using your brilliant imagination, open the door in front of you, walk through it, and now that you're in your happy, safe place, I just want you to notice, what's the temperature like? What time of day is it? See what you see, feel what you feel, and hear what you hear. Describe to yourself, using your imagination, exactly what this place is like, in as much detail as you can imagine. That's right, it's perfect. And of course, there are no worries and no troubles here. Just peace and tranquility in your own private paradise. This lovely, happy, safe place. You are safe, you feel it, you know it, and focus only on the sound of my voice now. If you hear any sounds inside or outside the room, other than the sound of my voice, they will not bother or disturb you in any way. They will simply fade into the background. And isn't it nice to know that the rest of the world is going on about its business while you and I, Terri, are going about ours? And remember, when you wake up, you will feel absolutely wonderful. And you will feel like you've had a long, revitalizing nap. You'll feel perhaps even as wonderful as you feel now, as you continue to sleep and drift and dream in your happy, safe place. And remember that any time I say the words happy, safe place, you will instantly and automatically go even deeper. So I'm letting you know, Terri, that you are doing everything perfectly and wonderfully. Now, I want you to scan your body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And as you're doing that scan, take notice of where in your body you feel that wonderful, safe, happy feeling that you've got right at this moment. And if that feeling, wherever it's located, were a color, what color would it be? Imagine that now. And I want you to let that feeling grow and grow and grow until it feels as if every molecule of your body has been filled with that particular color, that special color that you have chosen. And when it begins to feel like that huge amount of color is going to burst out of you, I want you to take a deep breath and then let it get as big as it needs to get until it feels like you're in a perfect bubble of protection, so that you are within it and it is within you. Now, just take as much time as you need. You'll know when it's just the right size because you won't be able to not smile. And once you have created this perfect bubble of protection, it will stay surrounding you the entire time we do this session today. And it is very good. Nothing can harm you mentally, physically, or emotionally while inside this protective bubble. Just like a cocoon, a chrysalis that is exactly the right size, not too tight or too loose, and it will keep you absolutely safe and protected as the rest of your consciousness goes on this lovely journey with me. Good. Now, in this happy, safe place, find somewhere to relax that is safe, as if you could take a nap, gently rocking yourself to sleep. Something like a hammock or a boat that's safely tethered to a dock, or perhaps a rocking chair, or even let your protective bubble become a cocoon that hangs deftly from the branch of a tree while you go through your own transformation, just like a butterfly in its chrysalis. You will still remain alert, even though the conscious analytical mind will be deeply sound asleep. Now, can you find something like that nearby? You will know when you've found the right thing or place. That's perfect. So just place yourself there and allow your conscious analytical mind to gently rock and drift and dream and float and sleep deeper and further and further and deeper, resting, relaxing, renewing, rejuvenating, and revitalizing. Mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically, on all levels, layers, densities, and dimensions, known and unknown, in every and all ways, resting and rocking, relaxing every bone, muscle, fiber, nerve, and cell, all the way down to the DNA level and beyond. Resting, rocking, relaxing, renewing, rejuvenating, restoring, repairing, revitalizing, and healing through every level, layer, density, and dimension. And when your analytical conscious mind is safely and deeply asleep, you may go ahead and rise up out of your body, imagining that you are floating up high, high above your happy, safe place, looking down and seeing yourself far below, resting, dreaming, sleeping deeply. You may even notice that you are tethered by a strong but almost invisible silvery string as you continue drifting up higher and higher, right up into the cosmos. That's right. Floating higher and higher until you find yourself in the hallway of answers where I will be waiting for you. And now, as you enter the hallway of answers, I want you to look around and I want you to see if there are doors on either side. Can you see the end of the hallway? Look down and see what the floor looks like. And look up and see what the ceiling looks like. And if the ceiling isn't open to the stars, Then I want you to imagine what the ceiling might look like if it was transparent like glass. Can you see the stars, the planets, the whole incredible vista of space above you? Now, just before we look at anything else in the hallway of answers, I want you to take a peek at your conscious analytical self over there in that happy, safe place. And make sure they are sleeping deeply and peacefully. And if it looks like they may be stirring, just reassure them that this is the time for rest. And they can safely go back into the deepest of sleeps and remain there until you return. Now, in a moment, your highest self, your highest consciousness, the superconscious, highest wisdom state, whatever feels the right description to you, will meet you on the other side of one of those doors. And that the right door will make itself known to you in some way or another. You will know which door, and I want you to describe it to yourself, how it's revealing itself to you. In your mind, describe the color, the size, the shape. Does it have any doorknobs or handles? Does it open away from you or towards you? If it is solid, or if it has a window or a smaller piece of glass in it. Take your time, revealing every part of this door to yourself, because it is a very special door. Now that you know which door to go through to meet your highest self, it's time to go through that door. Your highest self will simply speak through you using your own voice. This isn't a separate part of you. It's the you that has always been you in the truest sense. And it's looking forward very much to reconnecting. And there, in front of you, is the personification of your highest self. Look at, feel, or sense this very special part of you. What does it look like? When you look at this being, how does it make you feel? Can you sense the incredibly strong connection between the two of you? This being you are meeting now is your highest consciousness. And as you look at this being, I want you to say to them, using your brilliant imagination, "Thank you so much for coming to help me. It's an honor to meet you. What shall I call you?" Now, listen to the reply. Whatever you hear is the correct answer, even if it sounds odd or unusual. You can now refer to this being by the name they have given you. And as well as being your highest consciousness, this is your inner healer. And it will go with you even after this session. And now that you have met, you know that this part of you will be with you at all times and will offer you answers and assistance whenever you need to ask. So, thank your inner healer for meeting with you today. At this time, see if they have anything further to say to you. And if not, maybe they have said something, but also know that you will meet them again next time you take a quantum journey. And you will continue the conversation at that time. Now let's go back out to the hallway, knowing that your inner healer will always be with you. Move back through the doorway now and find that you are standing in the hallway of answers once again. Terri, you have discovered exciting things about yourself today, and they will stay with you once you return to your normal consciousness. It is now time to collect your conscious, analytical self and rouse them from that wonderful rest that they have had while you've been in the hallway of answers. So I will count forward from 1 to 5, and we're going to go back and collect your conscious, analytical self from their happy, safe place. Just allowing your consciousness to go find them, resting, relaxing, recuperating, and rejuvenating over there in that wonderful, happy, safe place. As they wake up, feeling physically stronger and fitter, more wide awake and more energetic. So, on the count of 1, finding your nerves are stronger and steadier, your mind calmer and clearer, more composed, more peaceful and at ease. On the count of 2, you realize that you think more clearly, concentrate more easily, and you see things in their true perspective without allowing them to get out of proportion. On the count of 3, every day, finding yourself becoming emotionally much calmer. On the count of 4, feel a greater sense of personal well-being, safety and security, beginning to discover much more confidence in your ability to do what you must do for your own highest good, each and every day, easily, optimistically, and happily. On the count of 5, taking in a deep breath as all these changes take place at the deepest levels of your consciousness, remembering whatever you need to remember and forgetting whatever you need to forget for your highest good. Eyes open now, feeling refreshed, alert, and ready for this new chapter in your life.
Wow. Wow. Where did I go? Wow, I was like, 1 minute I felt like I was actually the place that I am now, because it's interesting because you come through this gate and it's just this lush greenery and it really is, it's very humble and yet it's very native. It's just very me. And I just love it. It's very earthy. And I had a hammock and then you said the hammock, which was very interesting.
Oh, perfect.
The place I was in was like, it was a very regal place with wooden floors, and the door was a very rock solid door. So it was sort of almost had lines, and it was an antique-y feel, and I guess for everyone that just listened to that, what can I say? Wow, what an experience, and how powerful is the subconscious mind. But you are an absolute trooper, like in induction. I was going to ask you, what do you do? How do you induct your clients? But every question that I had has now been answered, and you do it very elegantly. And I do have to say that it's elegant, because it's not, oh, raise your hand, drop it down, or some kind of and I have nothing wrong with that because I use that technique myself. But
yeah,
that was amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh,
now,
oh,
amazing. So, this is going to be gold for the people, like, that's just incredible. And I want to say to each and every one of you out there that, you know, every time Dr. Sue says my name, I want your subconscious to hear your name. And you can utilize this podcast again and again and again. But now comes the big question. For people who want to get in contact with you to have their own private session or to get on board of your program, you know, we want to put the links inside of the podcast here. So we'll make sure that we do that. And I have a question for all of my guests that I love to say, and that is that if you had a message to the audience that you would like to share before we close down this show, what would you say to them, whether it's about how to utilize what you've just done or to give them some, I guess, some guidance from your, you know, your library of wealth of knowledge?
I would just love for people to be more open to using hypnosis, because it's not what you see as a stage hypnosis. It's just got such a bad rap that people think, oh, I'm not going to do it because I'll bark like a dog. It's nothing like that. The clinical hypnotherapy and this Quantum Journeys hypnosis is just so beautiful, and it can help you overcome all the problems that you have in such a beautiful, gentle way. And I mean, this that we did in this podcast is the most minuscule part of the Quantum Journeys hypnosis.
And I didn't have to say a word.
You didn't. In this one, you didn't need to, but we can have a two-way conversation, and I record everything for the client.
Beautiful. Oh, I thought that was brilliant. That's magic. That's just magic. Yeah.
Yes, please be more open-minded and give it a go. Go to a reputable practitioner who, and I mean, there are lots of us around now, not like it used to be. There are so many good hypnosis practitioners. And I always provide a relaxation recording to prospective clients anyway. So I'm sure other practitioners would do the same. So you get another sample, a different one to what we did today. But but it's just the best way of overcoming your problems.
Dr. Sue, you know, you have given a world-class sample right here. And I want to say, you know, hand on heart, you are just such an incredibly generous and wonderfully gifted clinical hypnotherapist. And I would have to say that if you really want to be treated to absolutely the best value, get in contact with this lady. And thank you so much. I'm very grateful.
Oh, it was absolutely my pleasure, Terri. And I think we've quieted Mother Nature down as well. She must have gone into trance at the same time.
She's calmed down. Thank you so much.
It's been a delight. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us on another empowering episode of our show, where we have explored through this various topic, along with all the exciting new topics that we bring every week to enhance your personal mastery of excellence. Now, I'd love you to do me a favor. In fact, be part of the Legacy 1 million that I have in the vision for 2028. If you know someone who really would benefit from this recording, from this episode, please share it with them. And when you subscribe, you get notified every week of our episode as soon as it drops. So let's do that legacy thing. Let's share, let's care, let's enrich and I look forward to bringing you another week of the most enriching content. So until next time, stay inspired, stay awesome, and keep on mastering your excellence.